Hi friends, welcome back to our tutorials. This is Angular with Bootstrap full tutorial series, and today's episode we are continuing with our Bootstrap layouts. In that specifically we'll learn about Bootstrap Grid today. If you have any technical doubts during this course of this series, please drop them in the comment section. I'll be happy to help you for free. So make sure you have seen all the previous videos. If you have missed any, this is part of the full tutorial series. I'm putting in a lot of hard work in compiling these tutorials, so please do support by subscribing and liking my videos. These tutorials are good for both beginners as well as for experienced professionals. When you have doubt, just ask me for free. So we saw in the previous episode that we are trying to build Bootstrap layouts using containers, margin, padding, and grid, and we will also see how to use Bootstrap navbar. But for today's episode, first part is to learn about Bootstrap Grid. So Bootstrap Grid allows us to design responsive layouts easily. The grid is designed in a way to adapt to different screen resolutions with mobile first mindset. The Bootstrap Grid is by default divided on 12 columns for each screen. The design is achieved by three utility classes which are mainly container, row, and column. We will learn how to use them in tutorial in hands-on. The Bootstrap Grid also supports various resolutions like large screen, medium screen, small screen, and extra small. These are used by using the classes like referencing as columns col 6, column medium 4, column small, column large. You can design it accordingly. We'll learn all about that now. So the first layout we will do today is a simple one which with header and single container. In coming episodes, we will learn to design complex layouts like the ones which are shown here. But for today to learn, we will just start with a simple basic one. Now to get started, we will have to create some Angular components. Let's get started with that. So this is my project that I have. Let's see the output we have done so far in the last episode. So I will run it. So first you have to be inside the folder, which is arc reminder, and then I will do ng serve. Alright, so while it is building, I'll request you friends to kindly subscribe to my channel to keep supporting and encouraging me. If you haven't checked out the previous tutorial on how to install, please do check that out as well. In the meanwhile, I'll open the browser and we'll just type localhost 4200. Alright, so the application is compiled successfully, and when you open, this is what we had built last time. It doesn't look that great. We'll modify it now to make it better. Now we'll have to do some cleaning. We have to put some proper layout to it so that it becomes much attractive. So let's get to business now. First thing, I'm going to do some cleanup work and remove some extra things that we added last time to show the alerts and the bootstrap badges, right? So let's remove that piece. So we just have a simple header which says welcome to arc reminders, nothing else, right? Again, we will modify this whole template now by adding more components. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open a new terminal here, and inside that I'm going to create a new component and I'm call it ng generate component. I'm going to call it header. So to create a new component in Angular, we will run the CLI, Angular CLI, and we will write ng command followed by generate followed by component by the component name. So now you see we got our header created. Similarly, I'm going to generate one component. You can also mention component or shortcut you can write C, and I'm going to call it content. So this is nothing but one simple header and one content area. So we are trying to achieve this particular piece. So we'll need one header and one container. So I created two components here. So I have my two components, content and header. So let's make use of them. So if you go to header in the component, you will see that the app selector is called app header, which is what I'm going to take it and put it in my app component. So this is where I'm calling the header component, and then I'm going to call slash app content. So this is my second component, which is content, which is where my content will live. So here I'm going to say content works simple, and here we are going to say header works. Let's see that. So if you go to the previous terminal, you'll see it is compiled. So we see header works and content works, right? So let's modify this again and go here, cut the header, and we will have it in the app heading. So in the header component, I'm adding the h1 tag. So now we have, this is coming from header, this is coming from content. So far so good. So what we are going to do now is make use of something called a grid, right? First, so in the content area, in the content, we are going to make use of a class called div class container. That's the Bootstrap class to tell that it's a container. And then I'm going to, we don't have to mention a class row because it's only one row, but here I'm mentioning it. This is content for single container layout. All right, so now if you see, the container is aligned. This is header. So to style it little bit, I am just going to throw in some style here and say for h1 put the background color as, say, uh, let's pick some color, some any simple color that we want. So let's pick, I have picked 0089. So let's pick that color, and once we reload, now we have our header, and let's make it white color. So now I have my, the header color should be white, and class is equal to text primary, so that's why it's in blue color. So I will just call it, if I just remove it, now it should be white color. So it's coming up in a way, so we can give some margin padding. So I'll give padding 4. So now you see it got expanded, but I don't want it. I'll say margin left, I want it 4. Now you'll see there is a margin here, and this is a content area. So in the content area, you can again define some CSS and put some border and say container border 1 pixel solid DTT. So now this will show up a border area for this. We can also say minimum height 100%, and then I'm going to say, let's say 500 pixel, for example. So this is how the content area starts looking. So if you see here, we have one header and we have one container area, which is what we wanted to achieve in this particular episode. We have a component header, we have a single container. In the next episode, we are going to extend it by adding footer, and also we will add navbar. So stay tuned and join me in the next episode. Thank you so much.